Right, here we go. I am now the proud owner of pants.
Woke.
I guess I'm not screaming at the start of this episode. So we'll just say Happy 9/11, everyone.
Auspicious day.
Yes, we all established this morning that nothing actually happened today. 20,
Mm,
20, 20 years ago.
yeah.
2 decades of this. I remember when it was the 10 years and it's like, okay, it's officially been long enough. You can stop fucking crying about it. Now we're 20 years out.
Um, we are.
But we are.
Yeah.
Um, so where were you when 9/11 allegedly happened?
I was on my mother's lap. Um,
We were
as I
watching
was.
TV and we just saw these planes driving into this building in a country I'd never heard of.
Well, yeah. Apparently, I mean, I was like 18 months. So I have no memory. I don't know, but yeah. Apparently, um, yeah. I was just on her lap, and
Yeah,
she flicked on the news when the first plane went in, and then yes, she saw the second one live. Therefore, I saw the second one live, but I don't know. What about you? Where were you?
at school probably.
Mm. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I don't remember it happening. I remember it not being a thing, and then I remember it being a thing,
Yeah.
and then but not fully understanding what the thing was. And then you fast forward to puberty, and then thing I do not understand is funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
It's a great time.
Mm.
I recommend it to everyone. Laughing about 9/11 is truly the wokest of takes.
Is that what you care about? Being woke?
Yes, that's why I drink coffee.
I see. So, what have you been doing the past 2 weeks?
I had a lot of things lined up and I've forgotten pretty much all of them. Um, Words, shit. I played EDF until I got bored and then I started playing Death Stranding. I think that's
Mm.
about it. Oh, and like
How is
going to work.
how is
There's work now. That's actually like I'm not completely bored shitless anymore.
how's that changed?
Like we're getting out of lockdown.
No,
Like
fair
things,
enough.
yeah, it's returning back to normal.
Nature is healing.
Yes, there is the forklift certified people are returning to the warehouse.
How was Death Stranding?
Um, I'm pretty sure I'm not even halfway through it yet, but it's a fun time.
Mm.
The,
Is it legit just driving to places, delivering shit?
it's more walking than driving, but
Oh.
yeah, like essentially, it's like that's what the gameplay boils down to. But it's one of those ones where it's like the kind of like the way you make things interesting is you take away the things that you take for granted.
Right, so I take it there's no map or anything.
Oh no, there's a map, but it's more like you actually need to try and maintain balance. Like
Right.
you can't just bucket. It's not Skyrim where you can carry 600 kilos of whatever the fuck and like
Mm.
sprint up a fucking mountain.
Right, right.
But it's legitimately fun, but it's still a fucking Kojima game,
Mm.
and I have a weird fucking love Not even love, just hate relationship with him. I think he's a fucking pretentious prick.
Yeah, yeah,
You, you alright, man? You sound
yeah. I'm fine.
fucking out of it.
No, I'm fine. So sorry. No, I'm not litty or anything. I'm okay. Um, yeah. Sorry. Continue.
Oh no, it's yeah. I really don't know what to think about him because it's one of these ones where I think he's a pretentious fuckwit that needs to go and make the movies he clearly wants to go make instead of making games.
Hmm.
But he makes really fun games.
I'll be honest. The last Kojima game I played was probably Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, what a
Um.
coincidence! I haven't played that one.
Oh.
You have to understand this entire like opinion is based off my brief experience with like the Phantom Pain and Death Stranding.
um. I feel a similar way about Miyazaki. In that
You mean the
I
Dark
do like.
Souls guy
No,
or
no,
the anime man?
the anime man.
Not
Yeah,
not to be confused with the anime man.
yeah, of course. Um, where everything that's known about him is telling me like he's pretentious and he's honestly not a great. He doesn't seem like a fantastic person, but I'll you know, I do like watching a good uh Ghibli film every now and again.
I, on contrast, have not watched a single Ghibli film.
They're not like it's not like something you necessarily should go out of your way, but
Good, because I haven't.
um, but I think it's one of those things where you either meet people who are really into Ghibli, or it's kind of popular now just to hate on it. Um, and there's a middle ground. Like you can say that they're overrated, but at the same time, there's also good films there. I know controversial opinion taking the middle ground.
Yeah, it's fucking
um,
it's a rough time being a centrist.
yeah. Um,
Then just fucking everyone hates you. It's great.
um, shit. I'm sorry. I've got like nothing. Um, on Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
not really much to say. Just he's not. It's one of those ones where you want to say he's pretentious, but at the same time, he's a walking fucking contradiction. I guess is the way to put
mm,
it. You know, he's a fucking Japanese Westerbo that makes good games, that wants to make movies, that is the least subtle, pretentious fuckwit I've ever seen.
what do you mean by least subtle?
Um, I, I'm trying to think because I do think it's worth playing the game, so I'm trying to think of like ways to do this without spoiling it. But just like the names he gives things
Right?
is like when you're trying to show like there's supposed to be a theme or something to this movie or whatever, and he's just gonna say this is like an allegory for this.
Mm.
Like he really doesn't want you to fucking miss a thing.
All right. So like a villain being or like a possible villain being called. I don't know.
Dick
What's a
fuckwit.
villainous? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pro,
Right,
pro,
right.
there's a guy in there's a character in Death Stranding played by fucking not what's his name? Because
Is
he
this the Norman Reedus?
no one
Uh,
of the other ones the Mexican fuckwit. I want to say Benicio del Toro, but
oh,
I don't think it's Benicio del Toro.
Just some other fat Mexican.
Oh, maybe it is Benicio. Then who am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
Yeah, not Benicio del Toro, because he's not fat. But maybe the other del Toro that I'm trying to think of.
Just don't know though. I don't know my Mexican
Oh,
fat men law.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, him.
I think I always thought those two were the same person, not gonna lie.
They're very not the same person. But he play his he's an ex-mortician whose character's surname is Dead Man. Like there is like, while I think he's also trying to try and showing these themes in a very non-subtle way, there is still a sort of very dry sense of humor to it all. It, I hope somewhere in amongst all of that I've explained that I have this weird love-hate relationship with him, but
Yeah.
mostly hate.
You hate him, but you'll play his games.
I'll play his games. I won't pay full price. I'm still gonna call him a fucking dick.
Fair enough. So wait, you said you'd been Earth Defense Force.
I mean,
How was
we
that?
talked about that. It's
Oh, did we? I can't remember if we talked about it in a voice chat or the pod.
maybe both. I don't know. I played a lot of it. I finished the game on normal difficulty, and it's like, oh, now I can go to harder difficulties. Except that harder difficulties are the exact same game all over again, except I die more. And
amazing gameplay.
yeah, it's cathartic. It's not something I want to try hard at.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to shoot big bugs.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
when the gameplay loop is very much run around and kill hundreds of these fucking bugs in the same, like, 8 maps with various objectives, and the entire campaign is 111 missions long.
How long is a mission on average?
It depends how quickly you finished it, but no, let's say out of the 72 hours that I've apparently got in the game, we'll say maybe 45 of that is one playthrough. Was like the first playthrough.
Right.
So I don't feel particularly incentivized to, like, go full completionist anymore.
Yeah, do it all over again, and probably do it at a slower pace as well, as it's harder.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where, like, the only limiting factor really to the harder difficulties is just getting better loot.
Right.
Like, the guns just scale. But yeah, like, if you look at my stats for EDF, I've completed 10% of the missions, or over 10% of the missions, and yeah, so, like, all the missions are there's all the missions on all the difficulties on all the characters.
Yeah.
So that's 111 times 5 times 4, so 2,000 missions. But if you complete it on the hardest difficulty, you don't have to, like, do the lower difficulty ones.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So that knocks out 1,500 of them. Potentially.
If you were doing it on the hardest difficulty from the start.
Yeah, if you went balls to walls, but you don't unlock the hardest difficulties until you finish it once.
No, right.
So you basically it's finish it on normal, unlock the hardest difficulties, and try and crawl your way through that. Which you learn pretty early on. It's better to just go to, like, notch up the difficulties one by one. which
just
made
slowly improve.
slowly improve and kind of go through the characters at the same time. So you kind of come to the conclusion that if you wanted to get 100% completion, what you have to do is like finish the game on normal on one character, then finish the game on hard on another, finish the game on very hard on a third character, and then on the fourth character, finish the game on the hardest difficulty, then finish it on the hardest difficulty with the other three characters.
Bro, you're telling me there's 4 difficulties
There's
above
easy,
that?
normal, hard, hardest, and inferno.
Oh, okay. Right. Must have miscounted.
So it's not. Yeah, it just can't be fucked.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
a
one
pretty big
day.
investment.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things I'll just do casually. Like I say this like this has ever fucking happened, but maybe I'll wake up and it's like I just want to kill bugs, and then I'm just gonna come back to it like 9 months down the line.
Yeah, I think everybody has a couple of games like that. Like sometimes I just want to drive a truck, or sometimes I just want to spin around a hexagon. Um, you know, and then you just don't touch it for another 6 months.
Mm,
Oh, do you not have like those sorts of comfort games?
I don't know. I feel like whenever I leave something, I end up. It becomes like the longer I leave something, the harder it is to get back because it just feels like this logistical nightmare of like I need to get the game working. I need to like get back up to snuff because I left halfway through the campaign and I don't know how to fucking move the character anymore.
Well, I think something for all of my games that fit into that category are all games that you can just plug and play, and there's no story.
I don't know.
So
I guess you could
um,
say to an extent, like War Thunder's kind of becoming that. Like I've gone back one or two times now since I've quit, and it's just like what? I just want to drive around in a tank for like 2 hours.
mm,
I get
yeah.
my shit kicked in, but it's one of like despite being a free to play, a free to grind game. I've got just that much because I put the fucking 4,000 hours in. I've just got that much fucking backlog of like
Yeah.
resources that I can just not give a shit.
Mm,
Also, just never playing during an event because I just don't want to deal with that.
yeah,
Fuck.
that's smart. Not getting sucked in again.
Oh, not no. There's playing for an event and there's playing during an event, and both suck. Because
How d-
when if you're playing during event but not for the event, you're playing with people who are playing for the event,
yeah.
and
Well, so they're playing bad subpar vehicles or something specifically to grind quests.
not
Um,
subpar vehicles, but it's just a very scummy sort of play styles where
but like,
like the objectives like the like your daily tasks for the event might not entirely align with winning the game.
mm,
So you'll have people who like go into matches in a very fast, very light, very combat ineffective vehicle, capture points, fuck off, and go, okay,
yeah,
I've done my 15 capture points for the day, I can like go to bed, and you've basically just been a dead teammate.
yeah,
You've
yeah,
achieved nothing.
yeah. I think in World of Tanks, it's more like the events typically revolve around a certain tech tree. Um, like it'll be like twice as easy to grind as like American light tanks or something like that. For like the regular events. So you will just like when it's a good tank that's versatile, then there's not much effect in the gameplay. But when it's a very niche tank, like Soviet anti-tank, armored anti-tank weapons, then you're just going to go into a game with like 6 snipers essentially on your 15 like double or triple the amount you should really have, and there's nothing you can do because in like War Thunder, there's no switching tanks middle
Yeah.
of the game. Like that's it. So the game's
Well,
pretty much just
that's the thing is people don't necessarily like. You, so because the events in War Thunder aren't like a double XP weekend or whatever the fuck you're basically describing.
mm,
It's more. It's what they've started to go towards this sort of build a beer model where like you play the match and either it's going to be based purely on playtime or on what the fuck it's called, like tasks.
mm,
And you do either one of those and then you get like a loot box, and the loot box has like sprockets, and then you collect 5 sprockets to build a whatever the fuck, and then you collect 5 whatever the fucks to build a thingamajig, and then you get the thingamajig and the thingamajig beta, and you put them together and you get your like coupon for this top tier fucking tank,
right.
and then you've got the event vehicle. Ta-da!
Uh, the whole thing is just grinding to the event vehicle.
Yeah, but like if it's like when it's task orientated, like again the Sol 15 caps, what it starts to boil down to is you'll get a bunch of people queuing as the Americans around like I don't know where it is in your tech trees, but the M18 Hellcat.
I think that's one tier 6.
Yeah. Well, basically you get a lot of people queuing up in that because it's fast, it's light, and it's got the 76 millimeter. And it
Yeah.
basically just revolves in either that team is gonna like capture the points and then ambush the entire enemy team, and or they get like machine gunned in the first 30 seconds. There's no in
Mm,
between.
mm.
You're either gonna steamroll or be steamrolled, and it's when you're not trying to be involved in that, it's just a fucking headache.
Yeah, I will say, World of Tanks does have more like high level events for event vehicles, but I never really took part in them because essentially the resources that um, you have to have lots of essentially the highest level tanks and a lot of versatility. And I was a retard and just pretty much went for medium tanks all the time. And so when there's like a mission that requires me to play in a tier 8 to tier 10, um,
Tank destroyer or
like
whatever the
yeah,
fuck.
tank destroyer. Like I may have one or two premium ones of them that I don't really play in, and no tech trees because I don't play tank destroyers. So
Yes,
um,
like so there'll be like the moments where it's like yeah, if you got like 5 daily tasks, and I guess in War Thunder like World of Tanks sense, like if every day you had to go in and get like 5,000 scouting damage,
yeah, yeah,
and you just yeah, if you just straight up can't do that, you're fucked.
yeah,
So,
yeah, and so for a lot of them, if it's not light or medium tanks, I pretty much don't do them, which means I can never really, unless I pay money to skip the ones.
well, to be honest,
I never.
I mean, even during the last like year or so of War Thunder, because again there was a lot of events going on. I didn't know working in my head. It's like because to grind out these vehicles, it takes about like 40 hours of playtime.
Mm,
It's a
yeah,
fucking slog, and I came to the conclusion it's like I could either like come home and play like 6 hours a day, hating myself because everyone's being a cancerous little faggot,
yeah.
or I could just buy the coupon off the marketplace from some uni kid who's got no job for like $60. I could just like work a couple of hours overtime at work and grind out the entire event.
I mean, the thing about Wood of Tanks is it's the exact same, but they cut out the uni middleman. like,
Oh, I
um,
mean, both work. Like, there's a couple of ways to go about it, and it really because there's a lot of varying kinds of events, and so the nuance is a little different. Like some events will have like a daily task thing. So there'll be like 8 tasks you can do. If you get 5 of them, you get like the token. You get 10 tokens. You get the tank. And for those ones, you can just like throw, premium currency at the developers. But these Build-A-Bear events, like we talked about the sprockets and the thingamajigs and shit. You can just go on, like, you can sell your thingamajigs on the marketplace for like 50 cents. It's like Steam trading cards.
Right, yeah.
Or so you can even like half grind an event if you wanted. Like, rather than just buying this shiny coupon for the $60, I could play as much as I want, and near the end of the event I can buy the 50 sprockets I don't have.
Yeah.
And then just make the tank.
It's
scummy, but at the same time, it's very pro free market.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with World of Tanks. It's a closed market.
As someone with a, I guess that's the other interesting thing is, people's like, oh my god, these premium tanks are so expensive. And then you look at the free market alternative and you see like everyone trying to scalp one another. Like, it kind of just makes the developers look like the good guys.
At least they're taking your money.
Well, no, because it's like, I could buy my like Abrams prototype tank for $50.
Yeah.
Or I got this kid who ground out this event trying to sell it to me for $80. And they're both functionally the same.
I get what you're saying. That's sort of what I meant, was like, who's getting your money, and you're making a saving anyway. Like, so I kind of muddled over my words there.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, the developers are making a cut off each transaction. Again, Steam trading cards.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
You think you're getting rich, but your boss is getting richer off you.
You make $1. I know your boss makes $1, you make a dime.
And that's why I poop on company time. Hello, welcome to Sad Bearing Die, where I've haven't played War Thunder seriously for months, and we still talk about it.
On sort of games, I've kind of realized that I have a list of games that I'm not playing because I really want to stream them, but I don't know, I just haven't streamed them.
Example.
So a real example of a game would be Fights in Tight Spaces.
I've never heard of this. Tell me more.
Yeah, it's in early access at the moment, but it's early access in that some of the factions aren't fully fleshed out, but the game is there. Have you ever played Slay the Spire before?
Nope.
Any game like that where?
Well, I haven't. I don't even know what it is, so no.
Okay, so the premise. Well, I'll explain Slay the Spire just because it's easy. It's kind of like FTL.
I'm going to say that. So I'm looking at like the screenshots of this Fights in Tight Spaces. Is this basically like a super hot turn-based card game?
You could describe it like that, but I really think that's the wrong direction to look at it. Like the graphic style makes it look a lot more like a sort of a super hot, but
yeah, that's basically where I was going with that.
Yeah, it's a lot more like okay, so do you know how in like FTL you go through nodes, you reach the final node, and then you go to the next map. And you pick up upgrades.
We call those roguelikes.
Roguelikes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So so say the Spire, it's a roguelike, but it's a card game where you have health, and then you pick up cards. Deal 8 damage, block for 16 damage and stuff, and it's like turn-based combat in that. And there's lots of games sort of like that. that follow that. So it's like a subgenre of roguelike, where it's essentially a card-based roguelike. And then Fights in Tight Spaces is a card-based roguelike, but it adds a sort of a 2D plane of well, it's in tight spaces, like a grid of maybe 5x5, 6x6. And you play as a guy in a suit, and you use your cards to move in directions and beat up people in this sort of turn-based thing. And at the end, you can replay it in like real time. Of course, it looks janky as fuck because it's like turn-based and direction matters. So you're turning on a square. So it, of course, doesn't look as fluid as you might want, but it adds a new dynamic, and the art style's nice, satisfying game loop. Really simple. You move, you beat people up in tight spaces. And so it's kind of like a puzzle game in like, okay, these are my cards. How do I solve this problem with the cards I have? Do I move first, or do I keep hitting to get a higher combo so my combo attacks work? And there's different decks for like grappling and stuff. I'm really enjoying it, and it's kind of like, damn, this is a game I really want to like stream. I think it'd be a fun game to do that, but I just haven't done it. And then a more meme example is a game called The Shiva, where you play as a rabbi and you just interrogate people as a rabbi. It's like a point and click adventure game. I also really want to stream that.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
Shivah.
Wow, you are a rabbi.
Yeah, it's like a crisis of conscience or something.
What if the Gestapo were Jews?
All I know is whenever I like click on it, the community feed pops up, and there's some Russian guy with the name Jew who's just posted an Adolf Hitler Family Guy gif. I just see that every time it comes up.
I'm digging this community. Russell Stone is a Jewish rabbi at a poor synagogue in New York City. He is a devout man with a problem. Membership is way down. It's almost like they don't actually accept converts. And he likes the funks to keep his synagogue open, things looking more very bleak, and he's grown progressively more cynical and bitter with passage of time. La di da di da 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 da. Yeah, I can't imagine playing this for anything other than like laughing at Jews.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it in words like that. But
well, that's why you keep me around, so that you don't have to.
But yeah, that's what I mean. I think because it's only apparently like 2 hours or something, so I feel like it could be a very good role playing as a rabbi.
2 hours for $5.
Oh yeah, no, but it's one of those ones that goes on like 90% sale all the time. Like it's one of those
fucking
ones.
Better.
But yeah, but I've mainly been playing gacha, to be honest.
Shaking my head.
It's like I didn't realize how much I was playing because I play on multiple platforms. So
they get
it's
you.
like, yeah, it's like I play for like maybe 90 minutes on my main global account for Princess Connect. But then it's like I also have my Japanese account that I'm playing for about an hour a day as well. And then I have my second global account that I often don't log in on, but sometimes I'll do like 20 minutes, 30 minutes on that.
So
it's like,
I understand the Japanese account. Why do you have a second global account?
Basically,
and please don't tell me it's just so that you can have someone on your friends list.
No, it was basically at the time. So my brother had lent me his tablet that runs Android. So it was like, oh, I could, and I'd beaten all the content of the game on my global account, like on my main. And the clan I was in, like, there were just some people who weren't pulling their weight. I was like, man, I could do better than that. And I was like, huh, wait, I have a second account. I mean, I like, wait, hang on, I could make another account. So that's what I did, but I'll be honest, I don't really have the good motivation to keep it up. It's not something
I would fucking hope not. Otherwise,
but
yeah, you got a problem, chief.
but yeah, the Japanese account, I do put in like quite a bit of time on that as well. So yeah, it's like, oh, I thought I was playing for maybe an hour a day, and it's kind of like, no, I'm playing for at least 2.5 hours a day.
It's time you could be
Oh yeah,
spending beating your meat. It's crazy.
man finds the time for that as well. That's
Man, just losing sleep.
um, yeah, you gotta remember, I'm in my summer right now, so I've got nothing else on. I'm legit just waiting, like, I'm just waiting to go back to uni. A, to have something to do, and B, to have an actual reasonable amount of disposable income as well. Like, so yeah, my life is just waiting at the moment.
Oh, dude, fucking tell me about it.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for this fucking pandemic to be over.
Fair
I'm
point, fair point.
waiting for fucking commissions. That's the big one I actually fucking dealt with last night.
Is Potato finished?
No, no, he's still got
Aye.
like 5 left. I think. I gave him 10 and then I gave him 11, but the 11th one is like far from important.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Good on them for making progress.
Yeah, yeah. Amongst other things.
Hmm. Oh, I guess something that actually did happen.
Nani?
My mother came up.
Oh, right, yes. The entire reason you were like not here for a while.
Yeah,
Because
like, oh, sorry.
no, go on.
I was going like, yeah, I decided to stay off Discord. Not because like there was something I had to do or whatever, but it was mainly like, if I'm on Discord, then I'll be like thinking about Discord and thinking about memes and shit. And really, it's been like nearly 2 years, and I just want to spend as much time
I
actually
I want to
engaged.
show my mother that I'm not gonna just embarrass myself every fucking time I see her, as I mention some fucking Zoomer shit.
Yeah, you can look at it like that. Um, but yeah. So I took like what 5-6 days off, like not a lot. And yeah, I spent it uh
With your
doing
mum.
shit, catching up with family as well, because there's very much been a, oh well, if it's just you, then it's probably not worth trekking an hour and a half to meet. If it's just my brother or something. But my mother has a lot more familial links, and so I was able to see quite a few other people of family that I haven't seen since before the pandemic as well. So um, just catching up. My uncle was the highlight. He confessed to 2 different assaults while in sort of the hour conversation in the past 6 months. Um,
That's
and
I mean, what the fuck else are you gonna do during a lockdown?
and that was him sort of talking about the fact that how he's toned down his fighting as well.
Or
He
does
was
he
saying, yeah,
does he just like not above the neck and not below the belt anymore?
he's like, it's sort of like being in the same room as him was kind of like, man, I am not a Northman. Like, I am not. Like, this is the type of guy who he would go out drinking 5, 6 nights a week, and it wasn't a proper night out if they didn't get into a fight. You know, like um, like that sort of getting jumped and then jumping people, like 42 only wears tracksuits, that sort of, proper lad kind of guy. Um,
And despite all that,
but
he hasn't had a job in 2 decades because, according to the government, he's got a back problem.
no, he's actually minted. He works on oil rigs.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, which is good for him, because he didn't drop the boomer line, of course, but it was kind of like a, sort of a, I'm away, I'm away from the nagging wife, um, quite a lot. So but yeah, so he works a lot in like Taiwan and Germany, basically wherever the money is.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that was the first one where they finally got off the ship. They were in like Taipei or something, and a local opened up a bar for them, even though they're in COVID lockdown. But he was like, do you guys want pub open? And obviously, you're talking to like 20, 30 British lads on tour. Like, yeah, they want the pub open. Um, and then apparently a local came in, um, telling them to, pack it in because it's, we're in lockdown, right? And apparently the supervisor and another guy just forcefully ejected the person with the usage of their elbows and then ran off. So, um, yeah, good representation of us abroad.
So
Yeah.
this is what's happened over the past 5 years, and why, like, Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Who are not the representation of the UK anymore.
Yeah. Like, and yeah, there was so my mother is, proud feminist, proud, all that. And she brought up the because we were in the Harry Potter room, right? The
It's
fabled
like,
Harry Potter
she's
room.
like, Willie, your Hagrid is gone. Do I need to get you another? You're like,
um,
no, mother. That's going to be necessary.
um, oh, you're making me lose my train of thought. Um, and yeah, she was saying that, oh yeah, the Harry Potter room is going to be good, for keeping girls away, right? Just a joke, just lighthearted. And my uncle looks at me dead serious and he says, listen, lad, don't worry. If you get her drunk enough, she'll let you do anything to her wherever you want. Okay. And the look on my mother's face was just like dying inside. Like she wasn't gonna challenge her brother or something, but you could tell that yeah. Um Plenty of moments like
And
that.
that's why you started keeping a bottle of absinthe on you at all times.
Oh yeah, and I found out that this is more depressing, but it's it's one of those things, sadly, where it's been so much time that it's kind of divorced from reality, if that makes sense. Um, I found out that I had an uncle who went missing a long time ago. Um, and it was sort of never spoken about really. Um, and I found out that he didn't go missing. He
He
was
got convicted of
no,
things.
he was murdered.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so which I had no, and it's kind of weird where it's sort of like, I expected he wasn't still around, but
I guess it's kind of funny in the sense of, like, you know how in, like, movies and shit, you know, and like the family dog dies, and they got to try and explain to this 5-year-old, like, no, he's gone away to a farm somewhere. And you kind of sit there and it's like, how
Mm,
the fuck do they actually believe this? And it's like, oh,
yeah,
I just thought my uncle has been missing for the past 15 years.
yeah, yeah. Well, we all, I mean, I say we all, but like, I definitely assume he died, but yeah, I didn't realize that everybody else knew what had happened. Um, and yeah, it was like, I was gonna say it was really sad. Like, a man was killed. Of course, it's sad, but like, it's very depressing in the circumstances. So, like, I'm chill talking about it because it's very divorced, and I don't think I ever really met him, in real life. So or at least never to the point where I could remember. So I'm chill talking about it, but I'll leave it to your discretion in case it might be a bit too depressing for the pod.
I mean, I got fuck all else to talk about.
All right.
I'll try.
Uh,
I'll try and crack some jokes in between.
yeah. So my uncle, um, I'll try and refrain from names because it was like
Do you want
it
to
was a
call him just the
murder.
Uncle Barry?
Uncle Barry, sure. Actually, I do have another Uncle Barry, but yeah,
To be
yeah,
fair, I do too. So,
yeah.
um,
Uncle Barry. Um,
Uncle
he
Hagrid. We'll call him Uncle Hagrid. We
Uncle
don't.
Hagrid. Okay.
Uncle Hagrid.
So Uncle Hagrid had he split up with his partner, like with his wife, but Catholic family, right? So he still paid for a house, paid for whatever. He chose to leave. Um but he was taking care of the kids and the house and he moved out. And there wasn't a divorce. They'd separated, but there wasn't going to be a divorce or anything.
Mm,
So um he moved up to Glasgow
as you
and
do.
yeah, for work. And
Is work up in
there was
Glasgow? Fuck, you better tell
yeah,
the
I mean
Glaswegians that.
um yeah, more than the industrial place here that had to stop being an industrial place, yeah. Like man, Thatcher and Major were rough here, man. Like, no joke. But yeah, sorry, he moved up to Glasgow and so he rented a place. But because he was paying for two houses and such, he thought he'd get essentially roommates, to help split the bill.
Mm.
And he thought it'd be better to pick a couple rather than like a single person moving in. It'd be better if there was a couple moving in. Um, and the wife was expecting, so it all seemed quite good good roommates to have essentially, right?
Yeah.
Um,
At least
well, yeah, so
not for longevity, because you usually think that by the time the kid's born, they're going to start looking for their own place. But that's neither
yeah,
here nor there.
yeah, good point, but yeah, like in general, sort of, I think more like safety terms, like
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah. So it was fine, and anyway, one day they found out that he had a bit of money, and well, I'll get into the actual later, but anyway, he had his son was visiting him, 12 years old, um, and while he was sleeping, the couple went into his room and hit him over the head, hammer, while his son was in the other room, um, in the middle of the night, and then took him out, dumped the body, and then their story was that he went missing, and they took all of his like bank cards. 'Cause this was decades ago, right? So it was like financial security wasn't as big of a thing, so they withdrew all of his money. And when I say he had a bit of money, like we're talking like he had a few thousand, like that was what they killed him for,
Mm.
like a few thousand. Um, and yeah, so that was the incident itself. You know, the son woke up and thought, you know, he's just told that his uncle I mean, his father had went out in the night and didn't come back. Um, so he was picked up and then he didn't show up, and so my other uncle, his brother, was like, "This isn't right," you know. Like, he's not a perfect person, but you know, he's, you know, good man. He's not gonna leave his kid, you know. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So he was telling, you know, trying to find out what had happened and telling the Glaswegian police to find him, and they didn't take it seriously. They're like, "Nah, he's just run off," you know, like it's no big deal. Um, anyway, about 6 months later, the body was found. The couple were brought in, and they confessed to it. They confessed that they killed him. They confessed that they did it for the money. And you know, this is where it should end, right? You know, like, okay, terrible thing that happened, but you know, justice, right, will be given. But it's not what happened. Um, so Scotland has a different legal system to England.
I think I've heard about this.
Yeah, so it's not that. So there isn't just guilty and not guilty. There's also not proven. Um, which is, it's not the same as not guilty. It's kind of like a minor admission. Like, we think he's guilty, but there's not the proof
Yeah.
to. And so what they did, like clearly coached by their lawyer. Sorry, I'm kind of editorializing because I heard this from my mother, and then I asked my
Yeah.
granddad about it for verification and such. So, but there's obviously a hint of bias there in that their uncle was killed. So
Well, not
um,
their uncle, their brother and son.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, wait, yeah. It's grand uncle. So yeah, it's yeah.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, my granddad's brother-in-law and my mother's
Uh,
uncle-in-law, I think is.
something
But
like
anyway,
that.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
it's hard enough to visualize when you get a fucking diagram of it, let alone in words.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So, um, yeah, so clearly coached by the lawyer, the wife said that they'd conspired to murder him, but it was the husband who hit him, who killed him. And the husband said they'd conspired to murder him, but it was the wife who hit him. And because of that, and they couldn't definitively prove which one killed him, they couldn't convict for murder. I don't know why there wasn't like a conspiracy charge, or like I don't know, you know. But they were let off, and they can't be retried for the same crime. So, um, yeah, they weren't found innocent. That's the thing. They weren't found innocent, but yeah, basically on a technicality, they walked free. And also apparently some of the newspapers running the story found out about the separation, because this was a couple of decades ago. That was a more of a scandal than it would be now. So apparently they were trying to drag his name through the mud, which is kind of explains why there's a couple of newspapers that are like big no-nos in the family, like big, never
Yeah.
read that, never support that. And I always thought it was like general, just like, oh, I know a lot of people don't like the Sun, but it was apparently a bunch of very specific newspapers because they were very disrespectful about my uncle, who had been murdered for money. But apparently the sort of the thing that really kicks the teeth and was that they tried to move to America and they were refused because of this, which my my nana always found to be like the worst thing ever, because it was like, so the state knows that this happened, they know that they did it, and they won't let them leave the country, but they're free, you know. Yeah,
Well,
so
as free as you can be in the United Kingdom.
yeah, as free as you can be in Glasgow. Uh, but
I,
yeah, it was.
I guess in a way it'd be interesting to see how it turned out for them as a whole.
Yeah,
Not just in the sense that they got away, but like, it's like a lot of things he does where it's like, well, you say it's innocent until proven guilty, but once your name's out, you're kind of fucked no matter which result you get.
yeah, yeah,
And on top of that, when you get away with it once, like, where do you go from there?
yeah. Like, I think that's the thing. It was over something so small. It was in his sleep for legit, like, yeah, a couple thousand. Which, I mean, even if you're taking into account like inflation, that's still like no more than like 10,000. Like they could have robbed them,
Really, that
you know?
much?
Um, yeah, like it was like like 3,000, but like, yeah, like something like 20 years ago, whatever. Okay, maybe
I guess it's like, I guess the way to try and visualize, like, what, like 2 months' wages? I don't know.
yeah, 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 so something like that. Yeah, like very sort of modest savings, in the sense that if a disaster struck, he could deal
Yeah,
with it. But
the kind of like, yeah, 10 like textbook rainy day fund.
yeah, that was what it was for. It wasn't like, you know, as terrible as it sounded. It would be more understandable if it was like minted or something. You know, if you had a lot, like, you know, a
Uh,
ton.
I mean, if he had a lot, he
But
wouldn't need fucking tenants.
yeah, yeah. And it's obviously the kick in the teeth that he picked a couple because he thought it would be safer. You know, that's
Mm.
yeah. Um, but yeah, by all accounts, of course, family bias, but by all accounts, he was a good man. You know, um, and yeah, to find that out, and I will say, I'm not saying any names, but I did do searches as well, and there are, like, there is verification that it did happen. It's not just like a legend, you know. The newspapers are out there and stuff,
Yeah.
archived. So, and it is sort of surreal seeing. Again, it's not somebody who I have any direct memories of course, but um, in fact, he might have even passed before I was born. I can't exactly remember the date, but he was somebody who was obviously talked about a lot. So the figure and the name and so much of my family is, you know, he's the father of them and stuff. So yeah, like people who I've talked about as well, you know. So it's kind of like I knew him even though I obviously didn't know him, you know. Um, but yeah, he was always just the uncle who went missing, and he wasn't. He was the uncle. He was murdered. Uh, anyway, yeah, sorry.
Anyway, them video games, eh? Fucking, who wants to go play something that Slay the Spire? Sounds like a great game.
Oh, sorry. Again, like,
It's all good, man. It's all good.
but yeah, finally a legitimate reason to dislike Scotland, I guess. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, like, there was actually like a bunch of funny stuff that did happen. Oh yeah, my mother liked the so I don't know if you've seen them, but there's this channel that basically takes Skyrim scenes, or like uses, you know, the backgrounds of Skyrim, and puts over like scenes from The Sopranos and Top Gear and things like that over it.
I mean,
And
yes and no, in the sense that it's like a kind of like meme template, not necessarily just for Skyrim, but it's as old as fucking time.
yeah, no, but yeah, I mean
But
like a
like
specific
I
channel.
like yeah, like I don't. Oh well, no, I don't know them, but I can get a pretty good like visualization in my head.
I'll just post the video, the specific video. So it was this one. Um, basically, and there's also it's like they're very well done. I will say in this sort of like this category of meme because you're right. Like it's not a unique idea, but they're pretty well done. Um, in sort of keying out. But my mother wanted to watch something on YouTube and she didn't know how to work YouTube on the TV, so I had to do it for her. But it was my YouTube. Yeah,
I think that's the thing that because I kind of moved out of my dad's place when he got a Chromecast. But there,
oh right.
but there was like this brief 2 week window between him getting it and him trying to figure it out, and trying to watch him like navigate YouTube using an on-screen keyboard and a TV remote. Like even me doing it sounds fucking painful.
Yeah.
But I mean, I how else are you gonna get your like 1 hour long Dremel videos? Because
Yeah.
that's literally all he would watch when I saw him. Is just him like watching some motherfucker with a lathe, just making shit. And I
um,
mean, I don't entirely blame him, but just what the fuck?
it's man. But yeah, like so when I was scrolling, she'd watched the video and I clicked off and I was, because it was my recommended feed and one of these videos popped up and she specifically asked me to stop
Zoom and
and play it.
enhance.
Yeah, yeah. Because we used to only have one TV, right? Oh well, no, we had more, but we only had one proper TV. The others were like shitty CRTs, right?
Yes, yes,
Um,
I'm very familiar with this situation.
yeah. So me and my brother, we would be playing games on the main TV, and my mother would just be like reading on the sofa. So she's like witnessed the entire stories of like Skyrim and Fallout New Vegas and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, she would always ask if we could play like a story game and not like a shooter game, right? Because
What are you
she
talking
couldn't
about?
follow
Call of
along
Duty
with
has a
that.
story. It's World War Two.
Yeah, she didn't like games like that. Um, but yeah, and so yeah, she asked me to play that video and she enjoyed it. I mean, that's it. That's all that happened. But yeah, it was quite weird watching Skyrim meme videos with my mother and her enjoying it, and it wasn't even something I foisted on. She selected it.
And
So I
then
would
you
never
went down
subjugate
the
my
rabbit
mother.
hole together, and you had to explain the entirety of Sopranos. It was literally the meme with like the guy and the girl in the stadium.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
It's you and your mum. Oh God,
Honestly,
I love that image so much.
yeah, it's fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
it's the hand on the neck that gets me. It's just such a fucking power
yeah.
move.
That
Like
I do like the Scottish nightclub version as well. Um, Let me see if I can find it. It's like the same template. Um, but it's oh yeah, here it is. Uh,
like she cannot escape that. It's like it's one of those ones where like you can try and imagine yourself in the situation, and it's fucking terrifying.
yeah, so this is this one. It's just the same template, but um, yeah, yeah, the neck one.
It's
Fucking.
yeah, it's yeah, I just it elicits fear in me.
But honestly, that's all. That's pretty much all our a lot of our conversations. Yeah, it's just us explaining why the other person should watch or read something. Um, for her, oh yeah, she was
So
telling me
so
about
first you
this.
have to understand how like Italian immigrants moved to America on
uh,
boats.
so yeah, I found out about a Okay, I don't know if you would have this in New Zealand, but do you? The only way I can describe it is like provincial detective TV series. Do you have that?
Define provincial.
Um, so I don't know. There might be one set in Auckland and one set in Christchurch and the regions around them. Um, and that's kind of like
Um, not really. Which is too small for it to be localized to a specific place.
yeah. That's what I
There's
was
there's
maybe
just
thinking.
straight up not enough going on. Like
Because
the closest I could think of was gonna say like we got like motorway patrol, which is basically like like traffic cops on a motorway, and there's only one place big enough to really have a motorway, and it's Auckland. So it's
I
all
mean
in
that's
Auckland.
that doesn't sound like a detective.
No,
Like I think the detective aspect is quite important because basically how this works is in the proud tradition of Sherlock Holmes or whatever. Um, somebody from a city will write a series of detective novels set in their city, and then that is adapted into a TV series. But it's a British TV series, right? So it's like 6 episodes a season. Um, but or like five, but there might be 20 seasons. It might be running for 10 years, but there's only a few episodes each year. Um, and so there's this entire sort of ecosystem of like I think like Morse is in Norwich, and well, yeah, there's tons of it's all the same formula, which is somebody who's a bit of an outcast, thinks a bit differently, very smart, is high in the detective thing of this local area, and they have to solve murders. Very formulaic. Um, but yeah, every region has one. Um, every sort of area, and yeah, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't realize. Like, I knew of this one called Vera, but I didn't realize it was specifically like a Newcastle-based one. So it's like Newcastle, Sunderland, and surrounding area. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's not like great TV. It's very much like a daytime, 60-year-old woman. Actually, no, it's not as bad as like a Murder She Wrote, um, or something like that. But it's definitely like the 40 plus demographic. Um, but yeah, it was quite weird seeing this TV series and seeing like places I knew, like oh, a murder was there, and um, apparently there's even like apparently a situation on my street, like on the very street that I live. Apparently, a couple of doors down.
yeah, you know that
They
kid you pushed onto the road? He died.
didn't push anyone. You ran into it. No. Don't change the narrative. Oh. But yeah. So it's kind of like part of me kind of really wants to watch it, but I also know it is that sort of daytime drama TV
I
series.
want national pride, but I also don't want to be bored shitless.
Yeah. It's not The
Well, not
Wire,
national pride, but local
like
pride, I guess.
yeah. But yeah, I guess if you like, I now know that there is a full TV show where everybody has a Geordie accent. Um, so I've actually not even. Searched it up. Is there anything about it on YouTube? I don't know how. Like, I don't know how provincial it is. Vera TV. Nope, that's a black woman.
Can't have
Nope.
those. Wait, so are you sure she's black or just really, really orange?
I'll let you be the judge. Here you go. Wait, no, that's the wrong channel. You be the judge. That's not the detective.
Yeah, no, that is very much a woman of Jamaican descent.
Indubitably. Yeah, okay, right. So this is a screen cap. Oh no, it's the full episode. Yo, full episodes on YouTube.
Og!
Damn! I was gonna have to download the. I was gonna have to use the app that I had to use for the Euros that has adverts and shit. But yo, it's on YouTube. I might watch it, but yeah, you can tell by just the coloring of it.
Yep, that's England, all right.
Yeah.
Even got the
yeah.
English like fucking police cars.
Well, of course, yeah, of course it does. What UK? I want to see if a map does exist. UK Detective Series map. Has someone done a map? Oh yeah, they have. Yeah, okay, right. No, I do not want to be taken to your shit website. No, just let me view the image. Oh my god. Now I'm the old barn. Open image in new tab. No, that's too zoomed out. Give me the source image. Bruh. Okay, right. Okay, so this isn't a detective one specifically, but it has the detective shows on it. Yeah, okay, British TV map, sure. Yeah, you can't read that. But yeah, so yeah, Inspector Morse is outside of London. Yeah, Grantchester. That's the one in Norwich. What's the one in Oh yeah, Line of Duty in Birmingham. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, there's lots of these these detective shows from a certain area. Oh, Midsummer Murders, yes, in Somerset. Yeah, Doc Martin and like Plymouth, Broadchurch, yeah. So yeah, that's what this is. I hope this illustrates what I mean when I say like provincial. That they're in certain areas and they're very popular in those areas. But apparently there are people who just watch all of them because there's so few episodes that you can legitimately, okay, this
course,
month
London like gets its fucking borough specific
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. So I think Luther's the London, or Luther Sherlock, Mr. Selfridge, and there might be another one there. I don't exactly know, but yeah, there are people who are like, okay, this month it's Vero on, and then like
Wait a
next
minute, what
month
the fuck is Faulty Towers doing on this list?
apparently where it's where they take place.
Oh no, I think this is just all shows. This isn't specifically like.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I said that. Yeah,
Sorry, I
like
wasn't paying attention. I was too busy like talking about Bloodborne 2 and shitpost. Yeah, because it's like, that's not a detective show. And then I look over Ireland and I see fucking Father Ted. It's like, yeah, okay, this is just TV shows.
Yeah, so that's why I was going through them, and I was specifically naming the ones that were actually relevant. But it does show enough of them that I think you can get what I mean. Where it's set in yeah, it's popular in a certain area, but there are people in the UK who watch all of them because they're only 6 episode seasons,
Is
and so
Downton Abbey really that far north?
yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, it's one of those things where like Scotland has a very sort of aristocratic tradition as well. There's quite a lot of
I think you
sort of
say
posh
Europe,
Scots.
but okay.
Well, yeah, but when I think when you think of Scotland, you perhaps don't think of that, you know. Um, but yeah, okay, I've beaten this
I
map
do
for what it's worth.
that fucking Top Gear is on here.
I mean, it legitimately is like, or was the most popular TV show I think in the world. Um, in terms of countries sold to and estimated, because it was sold to so many shithole countries that they can't actually accurately estimate how much it's watched. Like nobody's recording the view like average viewers in fucking Pakistan, you know? Like
We sold it to fucking Guinea before Guinea was
yeah.
like absolved by the rebel nation next door
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
for
so
two
yeah, but
goats, and we don't know how much goat is worth in this day and age.
but it's the BBC, so I mean it was one of those things where it's very surprising that they actually fired Jeremy Clarkson
Yeah.
because it was a ballsy move. Like he deserved it, of course, and there's the idea that he did it deliberately to get fired so he could move to Amazon. But I mean, you know what he did, right? Well,
I'm just imagining him like sitting there with his producer, and he's like, "I'm gonna have to punch you."
um, but apparently Top Gear was like at the time responsible for like 30% of the BBC's income, like the entire BBC, and it's why they
At the
were
same time,
allowed
I
to.
have to wonder like how much the okay, to be fair, that's not really feels. I was gonna say like how much is it in the expenditure when they're going through all these fucking cars, but at the same time, I mean,
No, like
I don't think like fucking Audi's going there. It's like no, you have to buy this car. I'm
yeah,
pretty
no,
sure
like
they're like sprinting to give them the latest fucking model to show it
yeah, it's
off.
like even if it costs like 50 million a year to make, um, it was like it was worth billions. Like that was how much it was making the BBC, which is why they were able to get away with a lot of stuff because it's like, yeah, but if we cancel this, we're going to have to legit stop like.
If we cancel this, we're gonna have to get more TV licenses. We're, we're,
Well,
we're gonna have to fuck off the Tories by getting all those old fucks who are the only ones who watch TV to pay more for their TV licenses. So we sure as fuck can't get it from the millennials.
actually, there is a reversal on that. Um, ITV now charge a subscription thing for their thing, which exempts them from TV tax. So you can now pay them directly.
You're telling me
Um,
for 10 quid a month I can watch The Chase?
yeah. Well, I think it's only five. I think it's five a month.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean when your money's like twice as much as everyone else's.
yeah, yeah.
I could
Good point.
I could
Yeah.
spare a fiver for watching The Chase while I cook tea.
um,
Speaking of Chase, I see EastEnders on this list. Fucking
that's not,
EastEnders. I know nothing about the show other than it's always on the fucking Chase.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's
yeah.
if you ever want to get on the chase, you're gonna have to catch up to your EastEnders, your Coronation Street, and your Emmerdale.
I
Um,
I don't believe those two are necessary.
Corrie definitely.
No,
Coronation
well, I don't
Street.
see many questions for them. That's the thing. Like I
Emmerdale,
know it's a
fair enough.
big fucking deal. My stepmom's very much into Coro, but
Oh, is that what you guys call it, Coro?
pretty much.
Okay, it's Corrie. It's Corrie here.
Well,
Uh,
it's not Coronation Street. It's Coronation Street.
yeah, no, I'm interested in the linguistic aspect of what suffix we add to shorten it. It's
Oh,
interesting.
we're very much an O country down here.
Yeah.
You know, like if you ever want to shorten your name, we've got like Wayno, Shano.
Yeah, yeah. The pieces are all fitting together now. Yes, Botlow. Um,
I'll be honest, I don't think I've never actually seen anyone call it a bottle o, like unironically.
oh,
The,
oh, maybe it's an
uh,
Australian thing.
yeah, that one as well as servo. Servo is not a thing here, but
Ah,
it is in
yes.
Australia.
Oh shit! I've got Recetier.
Oh,
Reciter.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
I need to finish that one day.
I need to play it. Um, um, but yeah, sorry. TV series. Yeah, but no, Corey's. I think Corey gets questions. Emmerdale. Like,
The, the only
right.
time I ever saw Emmerdale was I got this book of like word searches and crosswords, and there was an Emmerdale one in there, and I didn't know shit about it.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
um.
like when the question's like fucking Nancy's surname, it's like, well, I don't fucking know.
um. I do like how each of the soaps have like their own niche. So like EastEnders is the big one, set in London. You know, East End of London, and then it's Coronation Street, which is for people who are in the northern cities, or essentially cities outside of London. Um, that's that's the soap for them. I think it's in Manchester. I think is where
Yeah,
it's at.
looking at the map, it's around about there.
Yeah, and then you've got Emmerdale, which is a country village. So that's for people. Yeah, people in the boonies. They get Emmerdale. And then you've got Hollyoaks, which is for teenagers, and that's like the urban youth one. Um,
It's Kingston upon Thames.
wait, is it?
No,
Oh,
I don't fucking know.
I thought it was on the map or something.
No, no, I'm just naming
um,
places.
I have no idea where Hollyoaks is at. Um,
Wales. I don't know. I'm not about to fucking look through this for it.
yeah, no, same. Um, but yeah.
I like how they have to very much specify on this infographic. For fans of the TV from the UK and Ireland, uh,
Yes, I know. Yeah, but it's just below the fucking big ass Union Jack underneath above. Hmm. Um.
all right. Okay, onto the question that's been bugging me for the past 2 days. I wanted to
Okay.
talk about them now. I'm gonna save it for the podcast.
You got me nervous now.
Um, you're very much committing to this William now, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Now I have my theories about this.
Oh shoot. Go ahead.
I'm thinking with this whole university thing and how they've all got their own Discord servers now. There's a girl in there, and you don't want to have to explain to her why your name is Sad Hanako Guy.
No.
Fuck. Okay,
Um.
I'm all up at ideas, and I don't really give a shit
Ah.
anymore.
Yeah. You are actually like. There's a kernel of truth in that. In that, when I changed from Sad Hanako guy to William or like SHG to William SHG, it was pretty much for like, yeah, I'm in one with university people and I don't want them just to search SHG. So
Yeah,
if
but
I add my
now I
name to
now I
it,
have to not add SHG.
Yeah, yeah.
which has happened once now.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I don't know if it'll last or not. I'll probably will go back, but I just woke up and I was like, everyone already knows my name. Do I really want to define myself by a character from a, you know?
Well, I mean, this is a debate you've had for a very long time now.
Well, yeah, it. I mean, as much as I've changed the name around for the flavor of the week, it has always the crux has always been Sad Hanakoga. That's always
Oh,
what it's
not only
been.
that, but I mean, like, there's been attempts to rebrand yourself that have failed in the past,
Wuchi, yeah.
Uchi,
Because everybody
Kyoto.
just kept calling it Wookie. No, Kyoto I still use. Kyoto just has no application here. I wasn't known as Kyoto on KS, and I made the Discord account to join the KS server. So, no, all my stuff's still Kyoto. Um, but I don't have anything that's like not really Discord related in the name SHG. Um, But yeah, no, Wuchi, just because everybody kept calling me Wookie, and I also was like, the reason for me changing it.
If they keep calling me
Stop.
Wookie, I'm gonna not get my China license because they're gonna see it as an insult or something. I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah, and I also stopped giving a fuck about China. So, I mean, like, the
I
reason
mean,
I picked it
now
was
I give
kind
a fuck about China, but in the other direction.
of. Yeah. Um, but no, I don't know if it'll last. Nor do I know if the profile picture will last. Because I
Oh right,
mean, I
there's actually
changed
a
it.
picture of you now. You've
Yeah, I
truly
changed.
gone full fucking normie.
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, everyone knows who I am already. I mean, who gives a shit? But I changed it absolutely on impulse. So I might wake up next week and change it back on impulse. I don't know. Who gives a shit, really? Like,
Good,
uh,
you gotta start a brand.
I don't give a
It's
fuck.
all about
I
branding.
use I use different names for different things. I've got a different name that I only use for like Japanese language stuff. I've got names and variations of names I use when I'm signing up for sites that I don't really care about, but I need to sign up. So if I get spam, I can tell which website it's coming from. Um, shit like that. I just use a lot. It's like not nobody outside of the KS sort of thing know me as SHG. Um, I know. It's kind of weird being confronted about it like this because you're forcing me to think about it. It's not
Who
something
am
I've
I?
thought. Yeah, it's not something I've ever thought about or tried to put into words. I'm kind of scrambling. Um, but yeah, I guess that's it. It's just like I woke up and I was like, you know what? I don't really give a shit about defining myself by an anime girl. And I may very well wake up next week and decide, you know what? I don't want to define myself by my real name. It could happen. Whatever. So
But the real point is we're waiting for the day where I decide to not define myself by whatever the fuck this is. It's the one the issue I've always had with this name is that there is no interesting story behind the origins of this name.
mm.
And people ask me, it's like, that's quite the wacky name. What's the story behind that? It's like, oh, I needed a name for Xbox Live and Baby on Crack was already taken. This was the next logical conclusion.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, no, there's no actual reason I changed it. If that's what you were thinking.
Oh, okay.
Um.
I just really thought it was because there was a girl that you wanted to fuck and you didn't want to explain who the fuck Hanako was. You didn't want to have that vice grip on her neck and explain about a girl with burns on 40% of her body.
Oh. Uh, um. Speaking of, actually, no. I'll save that for another time. Um.
Oh, now you got me curious.
You're gonna have to remain curious.
I'll be a curious cat.
Don't ever say that again, please. Oh yeah, I actually did have to. Um, I received $5 on Hanukkah was best girl.
Is it from Potato?
No, it wasn't. To be like, oh shit, potato, you haven't removed me from the donate thing. Some cunt that gave me $5.
I spent it on chicken nuggets delivered to my door because Manlet said he was cutting me off.
No, stop! You're gonna kill me. No, not the nuggies. No. Oh. Yeah, so Potato, if you're listening to this, fucking get on that. I've already told you, but get on that. Alright. I normally make a notepads document with to keep me so I know what I need to talk about.
Oh, that's
But I didn't do a proper one this time. I just wrote words. I just wrote mother, uncle, game.
the mother uncle
yeah,
game.
I start uni in a couple of weeks. Which I'm fucking nervous about. Not the actual going to uni, even though that's going to be weird going somewhere like in person.
For the
But
first time in a year and a half.
Yeah, like legit though. Can we still behave as human beings?
Will I still be the pastiest, whitest one there?
I've never been that. But no, I'm nervous about my student situation.
Yes, you are a student.
No, sorry, sorry. My student loans haven't been properly sorted out to take into account COVID, the way the judge years. So I'm waiting to hear back on that, and it's getting really close now. And the reason why it's taken so long is because we sent it as an email, and then my mother only realized like 2 months later that you had to mail it to them. So we only found that out like last week. But the difference in the money is huge. It's like double. Like, depending on if they accept it or not, it'll change my money by like double the amount. So, as I need to get things like plane tickets and a laptop and shit. Like, it's like kind of really need to get it sorted. And the student loan company's notorious for not giving a shit.
I wouldn't either.
Legit.
Imagine having your job being giving fucking money away.
Like, it's so bad that it's officially recommended that when you send them a letter, you have to get it signed for. Because if you don't get it signed for, then they just won't read it. And that's on the fucking student loan company website. Like, it's essentially, you have to have a written confirmation that we've read this letter, that we've received this letter for us to read it, or we're not going to read it. It's nice.
Really nice.
But yeah, so I'm just waiting, hoping that gets sorted out in time. And yeah, I can actually do shit again. God. Oh, yeah. No shit. I do have one more thing. Sorry, I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation.
One more, dude. You severely overestimate just how much shit I have to talk about.
All right. I I feel like I'm being groomed in a way.
Well, it wasn't me
Um,
this time.
so, um, the the father at the church, he's been really after essentially finding out that I didn't know what I wanted to do after university. He's been really talking about the seminary a lot, you know, like more than just making conversation. He brings it up a lot. Like, oh, have you thought about it? Have you thought about, becoming a priest? It's rewarding or whatever. And yeah, he brought a student, like a first year priest, like first year student. Um, and he was like, oh yeah, do you want to get coffee and whatever? I was like, sure, whatever. So now I have to get coffee with a cunt who's gonna try and get me to join the fucking priesthood. I'm not even confirmed. Like, doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, that's like the only other thing that happened.
I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah, no,
I think he's just a man of the cloth that is trying to get more men of the cloth in a society where we're getting less men of the cloth.
yeah, no, that's actually that's a big thing.
Uh,
Yeah, no, no,
I mean, for what it's worth, you like flat chests and men, so like you're a prime candidate, really.
no, but dude, it's fucking 7 years, and I like cooming. Like, nah, fam.
It's not
Um,
combing if it's in a 10-year-old boy's ass. Them's the rules. I
no,
didn't
it's just
make them. I just follow them.
no, it's like you're obviously right. I'm under no delusion. I don't think it's a concerted effort, but no, it is like I don't know. I feel like we should take this one step at a time, not fucking try and get me to like cool it on the evangelizing. I mean, um, but yeah, it was funny. I did have I asked him something, and he dead ass. I asked him like, can what how much time does it take to become a bishop? Like, is it one of those things you can like just punch the clock in? And he dead ass said to me like he dead ass said to me, well, it's the Holy Spirit who decides. I was like, oh yeah, yeah,
Is
of
there any
course, of
like
course.
online certificate course I can do to become a cardinal?
How do I become Pope? I watched the CGP Grey video.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, surely, I mean, I pay taxes. Surely that gives me a right to vote on the next pope. Surely I can nominate myself if I can vote. Work for the Borgias.
you can actually. You don't have to be a priest to become Pope.
Oh, dude, just fucking fast tracking that shit. Let's go.
Yeah, but you'd have to have like the majority of cardinals wanting you to be Pope. But if they did, then
So
then
you
yeah,
just
like
need to kill majority of the cardinals.
you just need to be male and a Catholic. That's like the only actual requirements. But um,
Do you think that maybe all these like U.S. Republican senators are voting in the running in the wrong race? Just
yeah, but
same speech, same thank you Jesus, but like
you know,
for the fucking papacy.
yeah, but they hate Catholics. So
I forget which ones are
um,
which these fucking days. I
yeah.
I don't have the mental fucking capacity to like draw the dotted lines on the maps where the boats went.
um,
I have a hard enough
yeah.
time remembering that my own country's not fucking Catholic.
Is it not? Oh no, of
Uh,
course it's not. Yeah, yeah, no, of course. I get them mixed up with Canada.
Yeah, man, just
Canada is Catholic, but
fuck Martin Luther. Pain my ass. If he just sat down, shut the fuck up, the history would be so much easier.
the thing about Martin Luther though is pretty much everything he said the church did adopt, but they did it like after. the Protestant Reformation, so they'd already split off. But by like Martin Luther's, well, sorry, not everything, not the sacramental stuff, but by the actual changes to like the church hierarchy and stuff, there's theoretically no change. It's why the Anglican Church, like Anglican Protestants, are actually pretty damn close to Catholics in that they followed sort of the Martin Luther thing quite close, and yeah, they're now pretty fucking similar.
Still gonna kill each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't change
They
that.
they take the glass of wine with the left hand.
No,
We don't
actually,
do
no,
that shit around here.
no, it's legitimately like that. Like,
Gonna go fucking car bomb 'em later.
yeah, it's the big difference. One of the big differences between Catholics and Orthodox is when you do the sign of the cross, when you do the Father, Son, and when you do the Holy Spirit, do you do left to right or right to left?
Really,
Cath-
I thought the big difference was that the Orthodox just straight up did not fucking accept like women's rights.
yeah,
You
yeah.
you ever listen to any of those Russian priests? They don't fuck around.
Yeah, but I mean, to be Catholics are the same, but it's like they get around it by just not acknowledging that it exists. It's like the Catholic Church is not against gay marriage because,
That never happened.
yeah, they won't marry gays. So gays can only get married in secular marriages, and they don't recognize any marriage that didn't take place in the church. So they can't be against something that, in the eyes of the Catholic Church, didn't happen and doesn't exist. So they're not against secular gay marriage.
I mean,
Um,
I guess I'm in the same situation.
how so?
I don't, it's one of those ones where the solution I came to is like because again like I mean I'd consider forcing some like the church to marry you is against their religious freedoms,
Yeah,
but I'm fine with the like government supported like as far as like all the tax shit's concerned.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like so long as that stuff's not impeded, I don't give a fuck.
Mm. Well, yeah, it's there was talk of like, well, speaking with them, I was asking about like where do they think the church is going to possibly liberalize in the future, and the two big ones is going to be contraception, um, and what do you call it, marriage for priests, because there's already Catholic priests that can marry if they're not in the Latin Rite sect, which is like 95% of them. But basically, a bunch of the Orthodox churches came back to Catholicism, um, and their lay priests can marry. You can't become a bishop if you're married, but you can be a priest and be married in those sects, like Ukrainian sect,
Yeah.
Catholicism and shit. Um, so that's one that seems to be very like kind of within our lifetime may change. Is the church's stance on contraception and um, marriage for priests, but um, the gay marriage is never going to happen unless like the fucking Bible is reinterpreted in a whole different way because marriage is for procreation. Like in religious sects, like it's just not going to change, you know.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
unless
fuck, I
gay,
could live with that.
yeah, unless gay people can start having kids,
Uh,
like it's just not, you know.
oh, I mean, I mean, for all my criticism of fucking trannies, it's I guess in the end of the day, it's very much a question of like how long it takes for the science to reach that point.
Mm,
That it's not just some fucking mutant surgery.
yeah.
But the thing I've always wondered is, and it's I feel no one wants to answer that question because it's just so politicized. Like, if we get to the point that you could physically change your gender, surely we've reached the point where we can mentally not make you fucking think that shit.
What do you mean not think that shit?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, like, it, like gender dysphoria is a legitimate mental illness in the sense that you think you're something that you're not.
Yeah. Oh, right. I get what you mean
Like,
now.
surely
Yeah.
we can like fix that shit before we can, like,
Make you a uterus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. 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 I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm a classic. I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
But more to the point there, I feel it's become so politicized that even if that was feasible first, they don't want to go for that.
I think, I mean, if we're talking controversial takes, possibly, I think a lot of it is just over tolerance and like coddling of like I don't think it's that unreasonable to maybe think, oh, I wonder what it would be like to be a girl or for a girl to be a boy, but now it's kind of shoved down your throat like, oh well, you might be trans. Like, ooh, well, there's support for that. Maybe
Yeah,
that's the way you should.
Yeah, the support part is also interesting because there's people I've seen where, especially when something like Chris Chan comes up, and how they've come out as trans, and everyone's kind of thinks it's a load of shit and it's just a vain attempt to try and like fuck lesbians.
Yeah.
Because he's really just like going down the list to just find anyone.
Yeah.
Where it's like they want to say he's full of shit, but they really don't want to say it because they feel it opens them up to scrutiny themselves.
Yeah, of course. Oh, is there a Chris Chan update?
Not that I've heard.
Okay.
As far as like, I'm just waiting for the next big thing. Either he's gonna like get convicted and go to jail, or nothing's gonna fucking happen. And I'm sure by that point I'll hear about it. But until then, I'm not fucking refreshing the Virginia like fucking
court database.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've had no inclination to start watching the documentary again. Like, I think I got to episode 49. I don't know, just went out of me, and I thought I'd go back to it, and I might do. Maybe when there's an update.
Yeah, maybe when the next big thing's like, oh, cool. Now it's time to watch the next 40 fucking episodes to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because again, like, he didn't stop because, like, the Geno Samuels guy, he didn't stop because, like, he's up to that point. He's still, I mean, he kind of stopped because of that, but and decided to take a break. But he's still got like 4 years between the last episode and the present.
And they're pretty active years from what I've heard. Like, more active than, like 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I guess so. But a lot more of this dimensional merge shit. Which is like, I guess is the annoying part, because I kind of wanted to know what happened during that point, and it stops just before that.
Yeah. Man, I'd successfully purged all the Chris Chan knowledge out of my brain, and then you just said dimensional merge, and it's no, it's all coming back.
I am now very aware of what it's like when he hits on someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, for fuck all to talk about, we're now 1 hour and 50 minutes in.
Good showing.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Yep. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. Oh, wait. Yeah, movie nights after this. I'm gonna go make food, and then we're gonna go crash Manlet and sleep in Bleak Falls Barrow. I'm sorry,
Alright.
Bleak Balls Barrow. I don't know how long that's been I should go find out. See ya, everyone!
Right, see ya.